Garth Tander holds a formidable track record on the Gold Coast. 4 race wins, 5 runner-ups and a 3rd pole at Surfers Paradise. But it was his co-driver Cam McConville lining up on the grid.
And the Gold Coast 600 is underway.
They'd barely taken off, only to come crashing down.
Luke Yilden has hit the wall.
Luke Yilden and former Formula 1 champ Jack Villeneuve in the firing line.
And there goes Villeneuve. He's spun around in the Bottle entry. This will be carnage. Whack! Oh, it's dodgem car stuff.
That was willpower into Villeneuve. Look at that, cars everywhere. Have you ever seen anything like this?
It spelt disaster for Yilden and co-driver Mark Winterbottom and triggered the first safety car.
I've never seen anything like that.
Look at the mess down here at turn 4.
Cam McConville still leading after the restart, but slapped with a 10-second penalty approaching his first pit stop after making contact at the start of the race.
And then he got whacked elsewhere.
Here from the other side.
So definitely contact was made.
The tight new look circuit presenting many challenges.
This is the front of Montero's car with that front splitter totally torn off.
Fujitsu Racing's Michael Caruso, one of the big movers, jumping from 9th to 2nd. With Villeneuve in the pits, it was the lesser-known names muscling their way through. Among them, Jamie Whincup's co-driver, Steve Owen. McConville still leading the pack, but with a penalty awaiting, every second counted.
Cam McConville, don't forget, when he does pit, he has to stay for 10 seconds in the pit box.
IndyCar champ Dario Franchitti tasted success here in 1999, but the Scotsman was still getting a feel of the track.
He loves this place, he has had great success here.
Jim Beam Racing's Warren Luff dropping from 2nd to 5th, but things were about to heat up, with championship leader James Courtney taking over on lap 35.
Warren Luff done a sterling job for car 18.
Courtney's main championship rival Jamie Whincup also in the hot seat, but those cold stone tyres meant he couldn't get the better of Shane Van Gisbergen.
Whincup steps across and says, "This track is mine. Here comes the Kiwi."
Courtney showing the field how it was done.
Now on the last lap, 13.75, 13.69 and 13.55. Courtney, fastest lap of the race so far. New record based on that for James Courtney. So we're going to see an incredibly intense battle on track now to the end of this race.
Despite McConville's 10-second penalty, co-driver Tander managed to get past Pat Long and back on top.
Oh, here we go.
Good decision, Pat, not to keep on with the turn in there because Garth had already committed.
Fabian Coulthard was lucky to escape with his life after that spectacular crash at Bathurst, but the Bundaberg Red Racing driver was well and truly back in the saddle, sitting in 3rd. 5-time Bathurst champ Craig Lowndes managed to avert trouble, as did Coulthard.
There's Lowndes, sideways off the curb to miss him and sideways out to the wall.
The safety car made a second appearance after the halfway mark.
That's Montero still behind the wheel.
Dramas also in pit lane, as some Team Vodafone wheels went AWOL.
Speared out into pit lane.
Was for Tander after the restart, a mechanical black flag for a fluid leak.
Yeah, and you see that fuel coming out of that's out of the left-hand fuel filler.
The penalty was then withdrawn, only for the leader to be dealt another blow.
How long can he keep going with this damage to the front left-hand side of the Toll HRT Commodore?
More controversy when Tander's headlight popped out and team bosses were demanding a black flag. Remarkably, Tander was still setting the pace, but an error with 20 laps remaining allowed the championship leader to capitalise.
Courtney grabs the lead and pulls away from Garth Tander.
But another safety car would see this race turn into a sprint for the checkered flag, though for others it was more of a spin.
More trouble.
Todd Kelly and Greg Murphy.
Courtney still leading after the restart and on track for victory before being hit with a black flag.
Breach of safety car rules at restart.
Tim Schenken makes it official.
As Tander reclaimed the lead and held on to clinch victory.
And Garth Tander, you'll take them any way they come.
Lowndes finishing 2nd ahead of Van Gisbergen. A gutted Courtney plummeting to 10th. Daniela Rintilli, Big Pond Sport.